So welcome to episode 9 of Suitcase Divas. My name is Denise Diobaldi with Redbirds Travel.
And I'm Cheryl Garcia with ABCD Adventures.
Yeah, so today we're going to be going over Marriott hotels, why we like them, and what kind of great deals we get with them. And so pretty much we know Marriott, and I tend to send my clients to Marriott just because if you go through the hotel excellence training, you get severe discounts as a travel agent, which is amazing. We'll go into that a little bit later. But so because we took the training, we know a lot about the different types of hotels and the different brands and all that good stuff. So real quick, do you want to go over the different brands of the Marriott hotels?
Oh, yeah. So there are 3 different categories. So this was very interesting in the training. The training's pretty in-depth.
It is in-depth.
And it starts with their history. And then, so we learned a lot about that. And then it breaks it down. They have pretty much 3 types. They're luxury, which includes the Ritz-Carlton. I did not know that was a Marriott.
It is. And we actually have one in Charlotte. And
I did know that. Yeah.
I think we're going to try to do a little episode on kind of the hack where you don't have to stay there, but if you book,
because they have a spa.
They have an amazing spa.
Yeah.
And you can spend the day in the spa, even if you book a manicure.
Right.
Well, that'll be a different episode,
yeah.
right?
So we've got in the luxury category here, example, besides the Ritz-Carlton, you got the JW Marriott and the St. Regis, which Denise is going to kind of highlight those in a few minutes. And then you got your premium, which includes the Gaylord, which I've stayed at, one out in Texas, which was beautiful. The Marriott Executive Apartments, which are pretty good for in-between stays, like if you need a little bit more of a longer type. The Renaissance Hotel, Sheraton, Westin. I know Westin's one that you're going to chat about. And then we have our select type, which includes the ones I think most of us are more familiar with.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Fairfield, the Resident Inn, Spring Hill Suites, Courtyard. So we're going to go over a couple of those.
Definitely. Yeah. So like I said, I tend to, if we hadn't done this training, so when I talk to clients, they're like, okay, can you get me a car and a hotel, or I'm looking to go here. And I know, for example, my brother-in-law, JJ, and his girlfriend, Amy, they are very health conscious. They're constantly they work out every day. They're very green, all that stuff. So I would send them to like a Westin because they're focused on wellness and having a green footprint and healthy menus. Like instead of having a waffle bar and muffins and all that stuff, they're going to have more like a yogurt and granola bar and things like that. Nice. And they have walking trails. They have their gym facilities tend to be a bit bigger so that everybody that wants to work out can get a workout in. They have yoga classes, things like that. So I would send them there. I have been to an autograph collection. Their whole thing is making it affordable, but that specific location, there's not one like it in that area. So when I was in Anna Maria Island with Florida with my girlfriends, we stayed at Autograph Collection and it was beautiful and it was close to everything. We could get the trolley. And so I enjoyed staying there. I know you're going to go a little bit more into Courtyard, but I will say that Courtyard's definitely more like your business, lots of bigger spaces, spacious. And the newer properties, which you're going to go into, are actually amazing. And so Courtyard's typically budget friendly.
Yeah.
Once you get to these newer ones, they are gorgeous and budget friendly. So that's the win-win there. Also, Spring Hill Suites is wonderful because they're suites. They've got the kitchenette. They've got the 2 queen beds with the sleeper sofa. So I had a road trip with a family of 5, the parents and 3 children, and they didn't want to have to rent 2. Most hotels, it's 4, maximum of 4. Right. You know, if you've got 2 queen beds in a room and it's a small room, that's what you get. And you can't, no rollaway cots. Some people will, some people won't, but it's very small. With the suites, you've got more of like your kitchenette and the little living room area, which is the sleeper sofa. So for them, that saved them from, having to get 2 hotel rooms every way on like a 10-day trip. That's worth its weight in gold, right? Another one that I really liked is I don't know why I have that the 4 Points. Yeah. So that's by a Sheraton, which is also a Marriott. So the one I liked about that was the one in Asheville. So they have a dedicated bar that has draft brews. Like if you're a beer person, which I know you're not, but like,
Yeah.
if my clients were into seasonal and regional beers, they have them on draft, and that's what they're known for, is having that. So I think
Nice.
that's cool too.
So they're highlighting the local stuff usually.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you're looking more for like a little bit of a longer stay, if you're a business person or you're just there for a while, the Residence Inn is great because it's like a little studio apartment, right? It's got the kitchenette, it's got the microwave, it's got the stove and the sink. But then they also have a little separate area that has the sleeping area and stuff like that. So the one thing I will say about, there's also Elements, which again, they're a subsidiary of the Westin. I know JG and Amy would love it. They do focus on health and sustainability, and they even have something which I think is really cool, and it's like a bike share program. So you can go and do trails and do biking and all things like that.
And that's nice, because then you don't have to bring and that if someone's flying into a location, having something like that where they don't have to bring their bike, or you don't have to worry about driving it out there, it's having it there when you get there is a really awesome perk.
Yeah, and they have all the trails mapped out and all that. So I definitely, I don't know that we have an Element right in Charlotte here, but I would be, if I knew where they were going and I saw Element, I'd be like, okay, this would be a good one for you. So you just get to know what your clients like, what they, what their interests are, and it helps them be in a place, even though they're away from home, it's things that they like and things that they enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a little bit about like some different Marriott hotels that there, and trust me, there are thousands of hotels and 600 different, like tons of brands. So we just highlighted a few of them, but they definitely have things, places, accommodations that will meet any type of person.
That was the interesting thing when I took the training, because one of the things, and in my notes I have it, let's see if I can find it right quick, but when I was taking my notes, I would say, let me find my highlighted one, like that have the hotel and then their experienced right client. So when they're training you, they're also telling you, hey, this is the type of client that would like this, and they give you highlights about it, like for the Westin, if you're into health, if you're into that. So not only were they, telling me how they came up with their concept for a particular type of hotel, but they also were explaining the clients they had in mind when they were building it, when they were making their amenities and all
like Residence Inn is pet friendly, ching ching, right up my alley. Because I bring Riley a lot of places. Like 80% of the travel I do, I want to be able to bring my little dog because he's very portable. He's part of the family. And I do think that's great. Yeah, I would want to, I want to know what pet friendly places are so that we can send our clients to the place that best suits their needs.
Right. And that's one of the things I really liked about the training is they were helping us help our clients by saying, hey, this is who we had in mind for this type of hotel. So when someone, inquires for us, hey, I need a hotel for this or whatever, we now know which one to go back and look through and find out what fits.
So, and we're not we're not anti like Hilton or IHG or any of those, but
we just know more about this because of the expensive
and because we get such amazing perks and pricing by being a hotel excellence person that we've trained, we just get amazing discounts and they're worth their weight in gold.
Right. Yeah. So recently when we were out on the town,
just when we were getting our TSA check,
we actually came across a very unique Marriott that neither one of us had seen or even knew about. So I guess it's fairly new.
Typically they're standalone different hotels. This one was a dual.
It was a combo of a Courtyard and a Residence Inn. And it was very interesting.
And it was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Gosh, yes. And the area that was around, there was restaurants everywhere. It was close to the interstate.
So what's funny is when we're out and about doing Suitcase Diva stuff, or sometimes just when we're just hanging out, we're always looking for something that we can pass along. So we were at
gems, if you will.
Yes, our hidden gems. So we were getting our TSA and we were like, oh, let's go check out a Marriott. We always try to find something in the area of if we've been somewhere new. of what we can highlight for you guys. And I can't remember, did we find the Residence Inn or the courtyard? We found the courtyard. We were searching for a Marriott nearby and we saw that there was a courtyard nearby and we pull up. Actually, I think both of us had two different things in our GPS because we drove around for a minute.
Right.
And then we pull up and we're like, wait, this is
two
two
in one.
So we're like, ooh, let's check this out. So when we first arrived, there are so many walkable restaurants and things right around.
Right. Yeah.
That was very.
They had like a Hickory Tavern, a Jimmy John's, a
Dunkin', all right
like,
there.
anything you could possibly want to. But the other amazing part is inside their hotel, they've got like a Starbucks and
right.
their own.
But when we got there, this
but we
is
didn't know
kind of
that
like
before,
our first. As we pull in, it's beautiful outside, and we're in walking distance of all these really cool things. And then we notice. You noticed right off the bat the outdoor area.
Patio was gorgeous, and it had a huge TV. I'm thinking football Sunday. It had a fire pit table, lots of like seating. Posh seating, nice seating. It had a grill out there. You could make your own hot dogs or burgers or brats or whatever.
So I noticed that it had the electric car charging area,
the charging stations.
So we're
and multiple, like
it did,
or something.
I was impressed. So we got pictures and we'll show you guys, but these were just the things that right off the bat grabbed our eye.
So, and then as we're going into the courtyard area, it's like official NFL hotel, and I'm like, yes, I like it better, a little bit better.
I know, yeah. So then we go in and we just stop by the front desk to say hi and we always like to introduce ourselves and make sure it's a good time for us to walk around.
We like to snoop a bit.
Yeah. And we want to make sure they're not having like a big convention or something that will be in the way. So we walk up and talk to, was it Tanya?
Yep. Tanya. Okay. She was super sweet.
So we're like, hey, we're just we've never seen this before. And she was right off the bat able to tell us some information. She was super friendly.
Very knowledgeable.
We said, hey, can we walk around and kind of just check this out? She's like, absolutely, go. And so then we did.
Then we were snooping a bit.
Yeah. And
snooping. We're just, we're just looking around and being like, this is amazing. They had the little cubbies that were like, almost like a half moon areas that was very private. And we're like, ooh, this could be nice for like.
So when you walk in, beautiful entryway. I mean, it was a beautiful guest.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And it was one check-in for both sides of the hotel.
Correct.
So if you're standing outside looking at the hotel, one side had the Resident Inn and the other side had the courtyard. So when you walk in, you're like, oh, where am I checking in?
You don't really know where you're going because they look very similar.
They
look identical, really.
So, and this plays a huge part in later when we talk about some of the perks of why they have this combo. So as we were walking around, we walked into, I guess where they would have, it's
just off the lobby area. And they had the little areas, but then they had a Starbucks. Bar. I was immediately drawn to the craft beer.
It wasn't open.
But in their defense, it was like noon.
Yeah. Yes, it was noon. So they did have some really nice little cubbies that had a TV inside the cubby.
Yeah, and then we saw a conference center, and Spencer rolled up, and he was super nice.
Yeah, as we were sitting around just looking in, popping our head in, he walks by because we're looking kind of.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
We're like,
And then we told him who we were, that we were both travel agents with a podcast.
Nice. And he took time out of his day.
So then he offered to give us a tour.
Yeah.
And we're like,
it was amazing.
He was so for the moment.
Yes.
His name, I want to give him a shout out because he was actually the whole staff. Everybody
was amazing. Awesome. That was a wonderful experience.
But this is Spencer Scott. He's the dual director sales of the Courtyard by Marriott, Charlotte Northlake, and the Resident Inn, Charlotte in Northlake.
Yep.
Which we'll get into that location in just a minute. But as we're walking through the hotel, he takes us he shows us a couple of different rooms. One of the nice things so the difference between a Resident Inn and the Courtyard. The Resident Inn is a studio with a kitchenette. It has the fully equipped kitchens.
Yeah, and they were a gorgeous kitchen.
Yeah, and the decor, all of that was nice. But Residence Inn have either a studio or a one-bedroom suites. They're all fully equipped kitchens, spacious living area. These had nice desks that you could work at.
They had comfortable seating area.
Yes.
And on the back side of the kitchenette, there were like bar stools. So it was like a little eating area there too.
Yeah.
And they had like stove, microwave, full fridge.
Yeah, it was a full, that's a fully equipped kitchen. You get a complimentary buffet breakfast when you stay at the Resident Inn. So now switching over to the courtyard, the difference between the two, the courtyards have the king and queen rooms, which you wouldn't find the queen.
The two queen bedrooms you don't get at Resident Inn,
Correct,
but you can get at courtyard. But here's the nice thing. They look identical. Like if I was heading down on my left.
So that's what I was getting. So
absolutely.
at the courtyard, the courtyard, you get your king and your option of your queen and the double beds.
Right.
You get a mini fridge, micro coffee maker in that room. The king rooms in the courtyard have a pull-out sofa, so you can add that extra person. The Resident Inn studio and their living areas did have sofas, but they're not at this particular one. They're not pull-outs, which he did tell us they are working on.
Yeah, they sent them on order,
them.
but
they're going to be changing those out. But right now, that one didn't have it.
No worries. Still gorgeous.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the best thing about the two of these is the fact while they're together, you can, as Denise said, when you're walking in, when we went up the elevator, both sides use the same elevator.
They look the same.
You're going to come out to the left is one. I don't want to say, I can't remember if the left was I think the left was Resident and
right was
the right was the courtyard. But the hallway is completely,
and if you have a group of people and one's more budget conscious and one's more,
so that's perk about using, or I think this is one of the best things about this type of combo. So if you're planning a group trip, whether it be like I've done trips for scouts, I've done trips for bands, I've done school things, I've done just some family. Well, and not only do you need the different price points, but you need different style rooms. Like not everybody, when I'm traveling with a group of kids, I don't need a kitchen in their room, but it's great to have a kitchen in the adults room, the chaperones room, because then we can budget and do our meals differently. I think about when we do our troop trip. So having this, you can arrange rooms where the chaperones or in that type of room with the kitchenette on it's same hallway, same floor. Then you can put the kids and the one that doesn't have the kitchenette. You don't have to worry about that.
But the cool thing was it looked like a wooden panel, but you open it up and that's where like the microwave was, the fridge was. It was so sleek design. Like it was hidden, but it's there and you have like the stuff that you need. I thought that was pretty
absolutely.
Cool.
I did notice that too. The other thing is if you are planning like a big group trip, the budget comes in cost because there is a difference between the price of a Resident Inn and the courtyard. So if that is an issue when you're planning for your group, you can subtly do that. And you don't have to worry about if someone feels uncomfortable because they didn't want to splurge on the kitchenette because they didn't need it.
Or
whatever
everybody wants free breakfast, or not everybody wants the breakfast there. They want to go to Dunkin' across the street because they're hard Dunkin' person.
You couldn't tell that you were in two separate hotels because of the way that it was
clean,
set up.
Very well put together.
Kind of combo, I think, is amazing for any type of group travel.
Should absolutely do more of them. And the location for this one, 15 minutes from the airport. 15 minutes to the Whitewater Center. 15 minutes to downtown, uptown, or whatever. Some people uptown, downtown, whatever you want to say. It's the same friggin' place, by the way.
Right.
So great location for groups. If you're coming through Charlotte, highly recommend the Residence and Courtyard in Northlake area.
It was beautiful. The staff was amazing. They also have conference areas. So, and being in Charlotte is a big business city. So if you have corporate events or whatever, they had really nice rooms for that. Again, you could reach out to Spencer Scott for stuff like that because he was very helpful.
And he showed us their gym. They have Peloton.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you said that. I was going to look at my notes to see what I had forgotten. But
the gym area was very nice. They had a few Pelotons. So it's like you're home away from home. I don't know how many of you do workouts when you're on vacation, or maybe it's not a vacation. Maybe you're on your work trip and you're like, I gotta get this in. Because a lot of people travel that's their job. They're just constantly traveling.
I will say this area, that particular hotel was gorgeous. I think it had a great vibe for working. As a matter of fact, Spencer told us in their little nooks that they have, because they have the TV. It's like
it's kind of a corporate booth. Part. He's like they do interviews here. They do a lot of different things.
And that when people come and ask, I think he said they even will sometimes loan them a cord to connect their laptop to the TV. I will say they were so accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely accommodating. I was very impressed. all around. Again, we just stopped by. We didn't have it planned.
No.
So they weren't expecting us.
We would consider this a hidden gem because we weren't expecting to find it. We don't typically find these dual hotels in the same footprint. But what an amazing place. If you're coming through Charlotte, please look up.
Right. And the fact that their staff was just like, let me see what I can do. And they were kind of booked. It's not like they weren't busy.
Yeah, they're always booked. He said like several days out of the week, they're fully booked.
Yeah.
But they showed us not one, not two, but I think 3 different rooms.
Yeah. Because he was showing us both sides.
Right. So very thank you, Spencer, for dropping everything you're doing that day to take time to talk to us. And we are very, very impressed with your establishment for sure.
So we will put the info in our notes and on our socials. But that was just a really great, we just want to give you guys the info on our Marriott.
Yeah. And just to go back to fantastic rates for these 2 particular hotels, for the Residence Inn, we could typically get that for $79, whereas I'm pretty sure at the Public it's what
it was $180 for a one.
Okay.
The Residence Inn was $180. That's their Bonvoy rate. So it is different if you're not part of their loyalty, or is it loyalty? Is that what it's called? Loyalty program?
Yeah.
That's what I call them all, but their program
is essentially the same too.
And there's no reason not to be a part of it because you do get some perks with their discounts on their site. But anyway, their rate was $180 for a bedroom, 1-bedroom king suite. We would typically have gotten that room for $79 as our fam. Right.
And then Courtyard's very similar. I think our fam rate is $71 a night.
Yep. And their rates anywhere for a king sleeper with sofa was anywhere from $185 to $195.
So as you can see, it's a really good rate. So there you have it. I think we're wrapping things up because
yes, we are just about wrapping up our Marriott.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add in there, Cheryl?
I do want to say we are launching our suitcasedivas.com site in the next week. So if you put it in there right now, it's not going to be there, but hopefully in the next couple days it'll be live. It'll have all of our
this won't be out till Friday. So by then that's our goal, is to have it.
Oh yeah. There
up and running.
Okay.
We're just giving you the inside scoop here. But
so by Friday, hopefully it should be up. Suitcasedivas.com is where you'll go to find all of our episodes and our future episodes.
And we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts.
Which, by the way, we are also on Alexa Call now. It works.
It works. Woo! Bring up Suitcase Divas and they will.
Yeah, if you say, Alexa, play Suitcase Divas, it should play for you.
So we're moving up in the world. Thank you all for listening and helping our numbers grow. We absolutely appreciate it.
Yep. All right.
So we went there, and that is our episode 9. Y'all have a fantastic day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.